Hello everyone and welcome to my first tutorial here on YouTube, and in this video I'll be teaching you guys simply how to draw an eye in steps while I explain the way I'm doing it. So to begin with, the equipment that we'll need to draw this piece is some sort of graphite pencils, because I find graphite pencils to be the best pencils to use in photorealistic and normal realistic portraits. And I use the Faber-Castell 9000 series, which has the HB, the B, the 2B, the 4B, the 6B and the 8B. And I tend to use the 6B quite often and the 4B, and maybe the HB and B for detail and less of the 8B. But putting this aside, you also need a regular eraser just to rub out big parts for maybe highlighting areas on the face or the eye, which is what we're going to focus on today. We've got a Mono Zero elastomer eraser, something like this, and I ordered this from Amazon. I can't really remember how much it was, but it wasn't cheap for its size, and I use this for small detail on the eyes and on the face of a portrait that I'm drawing. Also, I don't know what you guys will call this, but I don't know, I just call them paper stumps or paper blenders. Yeah, these are to simply blend out and to give it a more realistic look and a more smooth texture, instead of it looking all weird and all over the place and not really blended. And of course we'll be using a sharpener to sharpen the pencils, obviously, and to get more details. And this is the Faber-Castell sharpener. Yeah, so I need to first of all empty this because it's full. So yeah, let's begin. Oops, I forgot one important equipment, and that should be here somewhere. And that is the Graphic Gear 1000 by Pentel, or yeah, something like Pentel, I think. And just to let you guys know, I ordered all these equipments from Amazon, nowhere else. You can find this all at Amazon, and if you guys want the link to them, just let me know in the comments down below. So let's get into drawing the eye. So it's really essential to have good light, a good setup before you start drawing. Make sure your table is free and you can move your arm freely around. So let's begin. We don't want it to be way too big as well, the perfect size. So let's just start drawing. And you need to also have a good reference photo. Now, a lot of people do different things with their reference photo, but I don't do anything to it. I just simply look at it. Like, some people can use rulers and other equipment to get ultra realistic looks, but I don't really tend to do that. I just want to do it on my own. So yeah, and yeah. So now that we're done by drawing the basic structure of an eye, we will start by lightly doing the eyelashes, but obviously not going on it too dark. A really common mistake that people do with the eye while they're doing the eyelashes is by doing the eyelashes like this. Now this is the incorrect way of doing it. This is the correct way, because you start off going hard and then you just flick. It's almost like a tick, but obviously not like that, just like that. So now going back to the drawing, let's complete the eyelashes. So as you can see, when I'm completing the eyelashes, I'm not doing them all in a straight line, going to all one direction, because when you focus on it, you realize that they're all so individual, that they're all going to different directions. Like, you can see from here, one is pointing towards the left and then the other's pointing towards the right. So now that basically the eye has been drawn but hasn't been like shaded or anything, we will now start to shade. So My teacher always tends to tell me to start off with the lighter tones first, but I always do the opposite. I start with the darker tones and then go towards the light. So I find my technique to suit me best, but you guys might prefer to maybe start with the lightest. I don't know, it's up to you guys. But before you start, you need to make sure that all your pencils are sharpened to a good point so that you can get a lot of detail in it. I think this sharpness of a pencil is the perfect size for a 8B pencil. I don't know if this is focusing, but yeah, okay. So, and no, sorry, that was, wait, so that was the 8B, and now we just need to sharpen the 6B, and then we're fine and ready to go. So first of all, I'll start with the 8B to fill inside of the eye. So I'll fill in this center first. Now, a lot of people do ask, how should I shade? Should I just go in straight lines? Should I do circles? Like, how should I shade? For me, the best way to shade is by doing it in circles, because you can fill in the paper a lot. Because as you can see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see, there's still little tiny dots which hasn't been filled in. So when I use the circular motion on the paper, then it does fill it in. So then you can get a smoother look within your portraits or whatever you're drawing. So that's one of my recommendations for you guys. If you want to make sure that the pencil fills in the paper properly. Yeah. So now I'll just carry on with the darker tones until I reach the medium, and then I'll stop again. So now that I'm complete with the darker tones within the eye, it turned out to be something like this. And keeping in mind that I'm not finished yet. So that's what it looks like so far. But there is one mistake that I have done, and if any of you, to be honest, I don't know if you guys will realize the mistake, but the mistake was that I began to do the eyelashes without even shading in the background. So it's going to be quite difficult now to shade behind the eyelashes. So that was one of the mistakes that I've done. So now we're just going to build up the tone on the eyelid of the eye, keeping in mind that we're not going to shade anything yet over here. We don't want to go too dark because it's not fully dark in the reference picture that I'm using. Yeah. So now that we're completely done with the dark tones, I'm going to use my mechanical pencil, which has a point of 0.5, to go over the eyelashes a little and to make them look more thinner, maybe like go over the edges to make them look less bulkier, and maybe add a little bit thin eyelashes so that it doesn't look too cartoony, because in real eyes, in our eyes, not all our eyelashes are in the same size. But with this piece, I've so far done all the eyelashes the same size because I've used the same pencil. So now I'm going to use a different pencil, which is a mechanical pencil, to go over and add some smaller, thinner, and some thinner lines for the eyelashes. So now I'm done with going over the eyelashes, so I don't think I'll go over them again, maybe at the end. And if you guys did realize, I'm using this piece of plastic that just, I don't know, automatically glues, like not glues but sticks and attaches itself to my hand. And this is used to prevent any smudges, as we are using graphite, which is incredibly smudgeable. but people do take that to an advantage for blending. Some people do it with their fingers, or I don't know, anything they can find. To be honest, they just use it to blend the graphite together. Not everyone uses these. So now that I'm done with the eyelashes, I guess I'll focus on the inside of the eye and put in the detail, the light, the medium and the dark tones. And yeah, so I'll start doing that now. So now we are finished with the inside of the eye, and we will now be focused on this part of the eye. Now when it comes to this part, people lose all the realism that they can gain in their picture by just simply adding no tone, maybe just a little bit colour, no sorry, maybe just a little bit tone, and then bam, I'm finished. But that's not really how it's supposed to be. We need to add layers on layers of tones. We need to add a lot of detail, go over it again, add highlighting, highlight areas so that the eye really does stand out. So now I will be doing that as you guys watch me do it. So now that I finished doing this part, to gain the extra detail, I've added tiny little dots that are not always visible but do become visible by time. I've used darker tones towards the edge of the eye, the medium tones towards the middle, and the lighter tones around the beginning, which sort of makes sense because the darkest tone is always at the end and the lightest tone is always in the beginning. So that's exactly how it is when you're doing portraits or anything realistic. So I'm just adding the final touches, little tiny details, maybe dots or squiggly lines to represent the veins on the eye, because we can't neglect those features on the piece. The veins popping out. And it's really best to use a very thin and light pencil for doing this, and that's why I'm using the B pencil, because it best suits this job, personally in my opinion. But of course people use different things such as mechanical pencils for the detail, and I sometimes do that as well, but I sort of find this to be better at applying the details to the piece. So right now I'll just go over it a little bit more and then start working on the outside of the eye, which is this area, because we don't want to leave this bit blank and this bit all detailed, because then it's not going to look attractive and eye-catching as it should be. So I'll just work on the eye more and then get on with the outside of the eye. Hey guys, so this is what the finished product looks like, and I will just sign it right now for you guys. So make sure you guys follow my Instagram, which is art is heart, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Emre. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys have any questions, make sure you comment down below. I would appreciate it so much if you guys like this video, subscribe. Thank you so much. So hope to see you guys with another drawing video or another tutorial.